Help is everywhere and most of the time, it's easy to get. That doesn't mean it will be free or that you will like the advice you receive. This is going to be up to you how to handle those kinds of things. But what I can share with you, are my own experiences to make this part as seamless as possible. The idea is to go from wanting something, to learning how to get it. Then, you go from knowing how, to practicing how, before finally getting it done. Here are the actual steps to take. 1. You start with a question, a desire, or a need for something. 2. You gather information, look for somebody who has it or come up with a goal to gain it. 3. You start to think about any experiments or ways to go about accomplishing it. 4. When you are uncertain you seek help and don't let fear distract you. 5. You gain additional support from those doing similar things. 6. You once again make it known that you are open to share and receive help. 7. Once you are certain about achieving your goal, you go back and produce a way to help others. 8. Finally, you move on to your next objective, which will be the desire, need, or want that you have for something else. It's actually not difficult to do all these things, once you can convince yourself of why. So, if you need money because you know without money that you will suffer and be miserable, it means, you need to figure out your best approach to gaining it, a strategy. This will start the entire chain of events that need to happen, so that you can find out more about yourself and your life purpose. After all, the gaining of money isn't a truly rewarding experience, unless you can help others to do the same for themselves. Of course you can simply change this from money, to any resource that's needed. What about things which aren't really necessary but are wanted? Whenever you have priorities, there are going to be distractions that you will encounter or you may become bombarded by. This is an obvious part of pursuing the real essentials, that we all need. Because people are all at different places in their own journeys, you must learn to become disciplined in order to resist these temptations. There are also plenty of tools or ways to gain an advantage over each challenge you come across. After all, what fun would it be if there hadn't been people who had accomplished a goal before you? Each tool may serve as a distraction because you must find out whether it works well, is worth the expense, whether or not there are better options, whether or not you will be able to learn how to use it. It will only be helpful to you once you can answer those kinds of questions, and you may get lost at any time. How can you prepare ahead of time for what these encounters will do to you? This is where a community can help you the most, because for every advantage, there has already been somebody to try it out. You can also take advantage of knowing this, to come up with your own tools. It's the purpose of a business to produce useful tools or products that help other people meet their needs. So, based on this understanding, you will want to have preferences or role models that also share things that they have found. This takes us back to the topic of sacrifices, because you will need to relinquish time, in order to check things out for yourself, research. Based on how well you absorb information. Eventually every single priority that you can come up with, is going to be assisted, by how well you learn. There are basically no exceptions, because your mission in life is set, by how well you learn. That means, no matter what method you need to use to absorb information, it's essential that your ability to learn, becomes optimal. Hopefully this brings a couple thoughts to mind, because learning is and should become your top priority. Develop this ability above everything else as soon as you can, or else, things will consume a lot more time than is needed. What happens if you are stuck in your journey or you started doubting yourself? Then self-improvement becomes your first and only priority, because nothing else matters if you don't think you are good enough. This is a huge problem for a lot of people, so it has to be the starting place before you even think about improving the way you learn. So, by now you should be coming around to the idea that you are the top priority. This means you need to feel your best at all times, you need to have focus and concentration at max levels, and you need to be loving and caring, when you think about yourself at all times. Because everything that impacts you is a big deal. You are a top priority. This includes your beliefs, values, emotions, feelings, diet, exercise, entertainment, and sleep. How well you can learn is the second top priority. Reading, writing, observing, problem solving, seeing patterns, critical thinking, focus, concentration, organizational skills, planning and being prepared. How easy is it for you to earn money is the third priority, putting forth what you learn to make the best use of your time. How well you can help or be helped is the fourth priority. Generosity, appreciation for others, asking for help, accepting criticism, accepting compliments, asking questions, or just lending a hand to somebody in need. How well you can manage your distractions is the fifth priority. Staying on task, creating ways to see your vision come true, rewarding yourself, punishing yourself, and whether you will give up or fight till the end. And of course, there are many other things that can or will be a part of your adventure. The point is that you must become a hero in your own eyes. Until you take that greatest step and start to believe in yourself, there is nothing more important than that. Of course, it will vary from person to how much each of these 5 priorities will take to feel great about. Learn to put yourself first, that way you can become capable of accomplishing any of those top priorities for life that you decide later on. I hope you have enjoyed learning the solution to the question, what should be my top priorities for life? Let me know what you think and if you agree or disagree with anything you have just read.